Well, 3 women have been found guilty of terrorism offences after they displayed images of paragliders celebrating Hamas tactics.
The judge decided not to punish them and handed each of them a 12-month conditional discharge. I should say, not punish them with jail time, but they did hand down a 12-month conditional discharge.
Yes, but did this deserve tougher punishment? We're asking, do we have one rule for Palestine protesters and another for everyone else when it comes to how the law is applied?
Well, joining us now is the human rights lawyer Shoaib Khan and security expert at the University of Buckingham, Professor Anthony Glees. Thank you very much, both of you, for joining us. Professor Anthony Glees, let's start with you. Do you think there was an issue with how this judgment was handed down yesterday?
Yes, I do. It's clear to me that the law was broken, and if the law is broken, those who break it must be punished. And yes, they got a conditional discharge, but the way in which the judge delivered his judgment seemed to me to be totally inappropriate, because he excused what they had done in terms of the emotional times in which we're living. Justice is blind, literally. It should be blind with a blindfold. So whether these are emotional times or not, it's got nothing to do with it. These 3 women were glorifying Hamas terrorists. Whatever we may feel about the war being waged in Gaza, and I think most decent people are horrified at this war, at Netanyahu's war and his crackpot cabinet war, this is the United Kingdom, and we do not support terrorism in this country, despite what ex-Labour MP Chris Williamson was telling your listeners a few moments ago. We do not support this kind of behaviour, and indeed we stamp on it rightly in this country. So this was the glorification of terrorism, pure and simple. It was a radicalising move, and a slap on the wrist, if it was that, is absolutely unacceptable.
Well, Shoaib, let's bring you in, because the judge said that he didn't find any evidence that the women were in support of Hamas.
Yes, hi. I mean, I think generally just the idea, what we've been talking about today, if there is a two-tier system, is it, favoring either ethnic minorities or pro-Palestinian protesters? I think that's quite laughable, quite ridiculous, really. What we've had is ever since, the October 7th attacks and the war after that, the genocide, massacre, whatever you want to call it. What we've had is, pro-Palestinian protesters constantly demonized, monstered by not just the media or other people, but, the Home Secretary, the Prime Minister, everyone. These are hate marches. We need to clamp down on them. So that's the level of fury being shown to pro-Palestinian people in the UK right now. Whereas when it was, there was marches similarly in central London to express support for Israel, the previous Home Secretary was in fact herself there. So we can see the two-tier system, but I don't think it's definitely not in favor of pro-Palestinians. Secondly, then, in terms of the criminal justice system itself, I know lots of people are coming up with previous cases that this judge has sat on and his decisions there. But firstly, I think one thing, not just in this case, but generally, at least for me, I think we have to move ourselves or distance ourselves from the idea that jail is the only way of punishment. Just sending someone to prison is not the only punishment. If these young women, who I assume would have had clean records previously, if they're going to have a criminal record now, it's going to remain there forever. It's something they might have to declare and so on. It's been all over the media. And I think that is punishment enough for having the sticker on your jacket or on your clothes. So, I think it was the right decision.